Okay, our fifth question, and this will first go to Mr. McLaughlin from District 27. Our fifth question, a voter from Albertville asks, immigration issues have had a major impact on Alabama. What is your stance on illegal immigrants and the impact they're having on Marshall County? Would you support an Arizona-style law in Alabama?
Let me be clear on this issue. I'm opposed to illegal immigration. I have been all along, and I see the ills that it creates for us here in Alabama and across the United States. I do believe that this is a federal issue. It's covered by the U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 8. But that doesn't mean that we can't have any state action on it. The question is about, what about an Arizona-style law? Arizona passed a law. It's a very comprehensive piece of legislation. And they've enacted it. It was immediately challenged by the U.S. Attorney General in Arizona, and it's in litigation right now. What that bill does is to outlaw a lot of things that right now are not outlawed. It would outlaw hiring an illegal alien for the employer. It would outlaw transporting an illegal alien for anyone. It would outlaw renting to an illegal alien for the landlord. So that's part of that law. Let's wait. Here's my answer to how to deal with this. Let's see what the Supreme Court says we can do. Let's see what the limits are. And let's find out what the Supreme Court tells Arizona. You can do this, you can't do that. And then once that decision is made, I am for Alabama adopting a law as strong as the U.S. Supreme Court will allow it, and pass that through the legislature, and we will have the type of immigration protection at this state level that they will have in Arizona once the Supreme Court has told them what it can do. And we won't have to wait long. That matter is going to be in the Supreme Court probably in the year 2011. We'll have a decision on that, I would say, within a year. And then we pattern a law based on what the Supreme Court says we can do. That's a sensible reaction to the immigration problem that we must address in Marshall County and we must address in Alabama. Thank you.
Thank you. The same question now goes to the District 9 Senate candidates, starting with Mr. Mitchell. 2 minutes, please.
Thank you. Illegal is illegal. Immigration, drugs, whatever. It's my position that we need to do something about it, but this is not something that started last year or 2 years ago. This issue started back in the mid-90s when the poultry industry did a good job marketing their products and didn't have enough employees to be able to sell those products. So it started back in the mid-90s. What I propose to do is talk with our United States Senator and our United States Congressman to help us enforce the federal laws that are already on the book. Give us the tools and the mechanism for our local law enforcement to be able to handle the situation. Now, Arizona did what Arizona thought needed to happen out there. They're a border state, and I'm sure they passed what they thought needed to happen. There's parts of it that I can agree with. There's parts of that Arizona law I don't agree with. One of them in particular is transportation. My mother and dad live in Albertville. I could see mother driving down the road in a storm and see a lady with her child stranded out there. I could see her stop, pick them up to take them home. My mother don't need to be charged with a felony for helping somebody. So there's some of the sections of that law I don't agree with. One of the things I've done as probate judge, I figured out that there's a federal law that says if you don't have a social security number, you can't be issued a marriage license. I was the first probate judge to stop doing that. We also have a sign on our front door, you have to bring an interpreter with you if you don't know how to speak English. I don't think you ought to have to pay somebody with our money to talk to them. You know, if English is our official language, and, you know, we've tried to do something in the probate office.
Clay Schofield, 2 minutes, please.
The Arizona law was crafted to withstand a federal assault. basically what this bill does, what this law does, is it mirrors the federal law. It gives the law enforcement agencies of the state of Arizona the ability to enforce the law that is already in place from the federal government. That's it, plain and simple. It will withstand a federal assault. What I believe is going on is the federal government is trying to intimidate other states from doing the same thing. Folks, these days, with transportation the way it is, every state is a border state. Alabama is no exception. I took a tour with the vice narcotics agent of the city of Albertville, and what I saw kept me up that night. We have a real problem. We have a serious problem. We have a very dangerous situation here. When he showed me a prostitution den, I guess you call them, it was right beside Antioch Baptist Church. They told me a story of an illegal who is wanted in New York State on federal drug trafficking charges. Guess where he's hiding out? Albertville. Albertville, here in our home, with our children around here. We can't sit and let the federal government do anything. We have to do it now. We have to do it now. We should have done it yesterday. My time's probably up, isn't it? Okay, good. What I'm hoping to see is that if each state does something, that is going to make the federal government wake up and see that we have a problem. If we don't do anything, then I assure you nothing will be done. We have to do something. Thank you.
Tim Mitchell, a 30-second response.
Thank you. We do have a serious situation. And like I say, it didn't start last year, and we don't need to just rush out and pass a law just to be passing laws. But we can, if we can't get our United States senators and congressmen to come down and help us, then we can pass some laws to help with our situation. But we've got to be careful because our agricultural sector could be hurt
Thanks.
overnight.
Okay, the same question on immigration for the District 26 House candidates, beginning with Randall White. 2 minutes, please.
Well, this is a subject that I'm very passionate about. My family and I were victims of illegal immigration. I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard about Kilpatrick, Alabama. We had a farm 2 miles this side of there. It's the drug hub, prostitution place of the southeast. A lot of the drugs are trafficked through there. So I know firsthand what illegal immigration can happen to folks. Let me say this though, I'm not in the business to put businesses out of business. That's not what I'm all about. But we are going to have to do something about illegal immigration. I have read the Arizona law, I've read the Virginia law. I'll be honest, I have not read the Rhode Island, but they have one also, and I think California is in the process of passing one. What we got to come up is with a Alabama illegal immigration law, something that will be strong, similar to the Arizona, and make it something. I'm already working with a legislator or two, and I'm not even elected, to get something going and running when we hit the legislature. When I go out, and I've been knocking on a lot of doors, and in Albertville, this poor family, the man said, I've worked all my life to pay for this little brick house. And he said, look over here, Mr. White, I can't sell it. It's not worth anything anymore. The value has gone down. And I have seen so many people like this. It's hurt the quality of life. Our hospitals, talk to our hospital folks, it's really hurting our hospitals. Something's not going to happen. If something's not done soon, it's going to bankrupt our hospitals here in Marshall County. So illegal immigration is something that we're in bad shape. The national government has the laws, they have the policies, but they're just not doing anything about it. So District 26 is going to have to yell and make enough noise, do whatever we have to do.
Thanks. Two minutes to Kerry Rich.
It's already been discussed, the Arizona law. I won't touch on that. There's a lot of things that I'd like to talk about on this issue, and I would urge you to go to carryrich.com, which is my webpage, and you can read all of my proposals. One of the main things that I want to deal with is illegals getting welfare benefits. We can change that, and we can fix that at the state level. We can eliminate illegals from getting food stamps, WIC, Medicaid, and all of those welfare benefits. And California is at the point of bankruptcy, and one of the reasons that they are is because of all of the benefits they've been paying out for 50 years or longer. And in Alabama, we've had a serious problem here for about 10 or 12 years, and we're going to be in the same shape they're in unless we deal with this. Our friends on the other side, they want to talk about that this is a federal issue and so on and so forth. And no disrespect to them, but here's the way I see this. Our house is on fire. You know, we've got a problem. We have a serious problem. And we've got fire extinguishers, we've got a water hose, and we've got neighbors standing by with buckets of water to help us put it out. But they stand by and say, that's a federal issue. The fire department will come and put it out. But in this case, the fire department is the federal government, and the fire department hasn't done their job. They have been totally derelict in their duty. We will have to take some action up at the state level, and I believe one of the main reasons that we will is to bring attention to the issue. And if the Arizona law didn't do anything else, it brought national attention to this issue and the fact that the federal government is not doing its job.
Thanks, and 30 seconds to Randall White for a response.
Kerry and I don't agree. Kerry and I don't agree many times. I agree with him on a lot of the subjects there. The federal governments are just not doing their job, and we're going to have to make enough noise and to get enough attention, and then a lot of other states are going to have to join in. And if enough states join in to pass their own illegal immigration law, the federal government is going to have to take notice. And we don't have any time to waste. There are people suffering out there, folks, in our district, and especially in Boaz and Albertville.
Now we enter the